Hello, good friends. My name is William Nyende. And there are certain subjects or topics that I enjoy discussing as an interdisciplinary student. I like to call myself a student because education is a journey from the known to the unknown. So as I grow, I keep learning new things, and the new things that I learn, I like to share. But there is this one thing that is exciting me these days. So my background briefly, I grew up in church as a musician, first as a chorister and then an organist. Pianist and then organist. And then coming to the United States, I could not put enough food on the table just by playing music, and that's how I transferred my piano keyboard skills onto the computer keyboard because they were all keyboards, so I could see the correlationship between a computer keyboard and a piano keyboard. And that's how I ended up into IT, and later I did public health information analysis. The fancy name for the course is health informatics. And so that gave me that analysis of public health. But now I work with neuroscientists. These are people who look at one of the smallest cells in the brain called the neuron. And you can tell that the intersection of music, public health, neuroscience, and positive psychology in the neuron is so exciting. In the neurotransmitter, it is so exciting. Because as you can tell, there is music playing in the background. If I want to fire myself up, I don't need coffee. All I need is sonic caffeine. I just get on my piano and play. So, but there is something that I'm noticing these days. The advent, the development of artificial intelligence, commonly known as AI. Now, the AI is actually helping us do lots of work. It is taking away routine work, and it is doing it even more efficiently. But the people who have grown up with this AI, such as iPads, iPhones, computers on their laptops, have not had the benefit of growing up without those gadgets. So the AI, in other words, is their tool for problem solving. Their brain is not necessarily their tool for problem solving. Now, what I've just said is very profound. I can take like 3 hours just explaining that. But let me try to summarize it in a scenario. So, one of the few times I had first come to the United States without staying, I was just visiting. I think it was the second time I was visiting. So I landed at JF Kennedy Airport in New York. It was my first time to go to New York. And there was this pastor friend I had met in Swaziland who offered to pick me up from the airport, So as soon as I sat in his huge car, people in New York are fond of driving huge cars. I was enjoying the ride, but at the same time I was looking outside through, trying to study the environment I was in. The animal instincts came out, and need to know where I am. So maybe next time I can bring myself back to this place. I needed to create a memory of what was happening. And here is what was happening. There were skyscrapers all over. And in my brain, I was looking for a moment way back in time before I came to the United States, before I even ever saw a single skyscraper. I was looking for a moment where I could not see enough expanse of the sky. And that moment was in a forest. So the leaf canopy covered the entire space that I couldn't see enough of the sky. Now in New York, while taking a ride in this car that belonged to a friend, the skyscrapers looked very much similar to the leaf canopy, to the forest leaf canopy I first saw back in Africa. And within that same time, this friend of mine, I think he was studying my body language, because I mean, New York guys are street smart. You know, they can study behavior by just looking at you. So he fired me a question. What is your game plan? Now, as a chess player, as a musician, I was so embarrassed that I didn't have an answer. So embarrassed to the point that, you know what, I even need to reach out for a dictionary and define each and every word in that question. And it took me days to do my homework. I didn't have an answer that time. Later on, I developed a theory that you either have a game plan or you are the game. Because the word game can mean a game like soccer, like tennis. I was recently watching the Australian Open. But it can also mean an animal that big animals have for lunch. In a movie, Peter and the Wolf, there was this duck which was always scared, and I think it was a bird which was telling that duck that, you know what, let's go hunt that wolf because it is creating havoc on the village. And then the duck was trying to come up with an argument to convince the bird. I forget the name of that character, the bird character. That look, you have to be careful because those big animals enjoy having small animals for lunch. So you either have a game plan or you are the game. But back to AI. The generation we are living in now, this AI generation, I think we are going to end up in a situation where the AI is having many people for lunch, because now they have forgotten how to connect with real people. We are connecting with virtual people, and we think we are connecting with virtual people, and then when it comes to communication such as this, they can't communicate. When it comes to critical thinking, they can't even, they don't know how even to think critically. They just pull out, for instance, if they're in a forest, they'll pull out a GPS. Where am I? During those days before AI, we would find ourselves out of the forest because that's how we grew up. But now this generation, which has this tool of artificial intelligence, is suffering from lack of critical thinking, and it is also suffering from lack of connection with human beings, and as such, we are losing the communication skills. Now, it is very interesting that when we look at the schools, when the school budget is tabled, the first thing they are going to cut off is music. And yet music, neuroscientists tell us, is that one thing which can fire over 70% of the neurons in someone's brain.